Hi, and welcome back to Live with Brittnie, our Chamber Shouts show in partnership with Miami Community Newspapers. My name is Brittnie Basant. I am your president and CEO for Chamber South, and today I have with me Dr. Anthony Cruz. He is the campus president for Miami-Dade College Kendall campus, and everyone knows Dr. Cruz. We are so thrilled to have him. Welcome, Dr. Cruz. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Brittnie. This is really a pleasure to be here on your show.
Yeah,
Been looking forward to it.
This is so
this
great.
Is really great.
I'm so excited. So a few months ago, time means nothing to me anymore. A few months ago, I think the positions were reversed. And you interviewed me on Keeping Up with Kendall, and that was great, and that was lovely. And at the end, I tried to ask Dr. Cruz a question, and he was like, oh, nope, I'm the one asking the question. So we've flipped, and I get to ask him all these amazing questions today, so I'm so excited. So let's dive right in. I want to know a little bit about you, or I know about, but I want our audience to know about you, your personal and your professional journey, and I always tell people, throw in a fun fact. We love fun facts.
All right. Okay. So, born in Chicago, moved to Miami when I was 9. So grew up here basically in Miami. Went to Killian High School.
Yay!
Our beautiful alma mater. Yay.
I went to Killian as well. We get very excited whenever we say that fact together.
Go Cougars, right?
Go Cougars.
Right. And went to FIU as an undergraduate. Went away to Florida State for my master's. Then started working. And my first job in higher education was at FIU, working in the admissions office as a recruiter.
Oh, very cool.
Did that for a couple years. Worked at FIU for several years. Then I'm going to throw in my fun fact.
Okay, throw it in.
I'm going to throw it in right now because it goes along with it.
It's part of the journey.
It's part of the journey, right? Is that I worked as a financial advisor for 3 years.
At FIU?
No, for Charles Schwab and for Prudential.
Oh.
So no. Financial advisor, not financial aid advisor.
Not financial aid advisor, a financial advisor.
A financial advisor, a stockbroker. So I did that for 3 years in the middle of, I guess, the early part of my career. So decided that, I said, let me try this, and then did it for 3 years. I then worked for Schwab, worked for Prudential, really liked it, but then came 9/11, the stock market crashed, and I just didn't feel like I wanted to be in the business anymore. So I decided to go back into higher ed. So came back to FIU. So I worked at FIU for about 10 years.
Total? If you
total.
Combine all the different.
Combine all the years. Then decided, you know what? I had worked at FIU, worked a lot with students who were community college students, and really felt like that was my mission. It was to work with students at community colleges, and moved on to Broward College. Became associate dean there of student affairs. And then an opportunity came about that I wanted to be a dean somewhere. And so Cincinnati came calling. So I moved, yes.
All over the place.
Yeah.
This is wild. I was like, I know Dr. Cruz. Didn't know anything apparently.
No. So moved my family up to Cincinnati and lived up there for about 10 years. And then had a couple jobs there as a dean and then as a vice president at St. Clair Community College. And then moved to St. Louis. And I lived in St. Louis for 3 years.
My goodness.
And was a vice chancellor of student affairs there. And so 3 years ago, a little bit over 3 years ago, got the opportunity to come back to South Florida, back to Miami, to become the campus president at the Hialeah campus of Miami-Dade College. So this is where I am today. But again, in that journey, there's a lot there, right?
There's so much that we can unpack there.
25 plus years of higher education experience and working with the community, working with different communities. I've worked now at 5 different community colleges.
Wow.
And so community colleges are really my passion because I think that's where I think I can do and I think we can do a lot more and impact the community. So it's been a journey.
That's incredible.
But the financial advisor piece was an interesting, kind of like little 3 year. It was 3 years outside of higher ed. But it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about personal finances, how to invest and things like that. And I really enjoyed it. And I enjoyed really the educational piece as well because I enjoyed talking to people about their finances and, setting them up with financial plans and giving them the right advice and things like that.
That's so cool. So that's amazing to me. Wow. Again,
most people don't know that.
I didn't. That's incredible. Yeah. So on that note, like so much of your career, the majority of it, like 90% of it has been in higher education.
Correct.
What did you want to be when you were younger? Was that what you wanted to do when you were younger?
No, not at all. I wanted to be a lawyer.
too.
That's what I wanted to do. But what happened was, when I was at FIU, I took a class called Constitutional Law. And when I took that class, I said, you know what? Maybe not. So it was maybe to decide, and I don't know if that's the right way to decide whether you want to go into law or not, but that one class, because I was a political science major, and one of the classes that we could take was constitutional law, and so I took the class and didn't really enjoy it at all.
So funny because
I said,
constitutional law is always abbreviated to con law, and I always thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because it's con law
right.
for the Constitution. We have so much in common. Both went to Killian. I was sort of put on the law path by my parents. That's not something that I wanted to do. And yes, I had like a little blip in my career so far where I worked for politics, and I love that the experience that I had because it carried me into other things, and I really enjoyed that. So there's a lot of synergy here, and if there's anyone that I'm going to have synergy and parallels with, I think it's amazing that I'm having that with Dr. Cruz. So that's really, really, really cool.
Yep.
So you're talking about like community. You mentioned community colleges, and we were talking about higher education. I'm kind of getting a little bit off script here, but what would you say are the biggest difference between a community college and like a university? If you can explain that, I would be fascinated.
I think the biggest difference is that community colleges are open access institutions, which means that anybody that wants to seek a higher education can go to a community college. We don't have any barriers when it comes to test scores or grades that you had to have in high school. So that gives everyone an opportunity to come to us, and they can start at different points, right? Everybody comes with different levels of preparation. We have some students that are high achieving, that come from high school, that have amazing test scores, high grades, and are maybe in our honors program or just in other programs, but nonetheless are very high achieving students. And then we have other students that, maybe they went through high school, didn't really focus a whole lot, didn't really know what they wanted to do. Maybe they want to explore different things, and maybe their grades weren't the best. We give them that opportunity.
That's incredible.
So that's the biggest difference between us and a university, because I think from a quality of education standpoint, we're on par with anybody. And I'm just telling you, it's like,
of course,
because many of our professors teach at other institutions, vice versa. And so the quality of education is first rate. So it's not about the quality of education. It's really about access.
Opportunity to access.
And then the other difference is that our professors, their main objective is teaching. We're a teaching institution, where at universities, university professors also have research responsibilities. So that may detract, maybe not, but it can detract from that teaching component. And so our professors are very much geared and focused on teaching and how they improve that teaching. And so our undergraduate education that we offer to our students is top notch because of that. Our professors are, always trying to skill up and trying to make sure that they're providing the best opportunities and the best methodologies when it comes to teaching our students. So that's from a teaching standpoint, and that's a little bit of a, and it's not a difference, but it kind of shows you. But I think access is really
key,
the key point. And
That's
so
incredible.
we have people, and last night we just did our MDC
I saw that.
Alumni Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
And all those individuals, as you could, they're just very prominent individuals now in our community. They all started with us, right?
That's incredible.
So they all started with us, and look at where they've gotten.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that was a wonderful event. I wasn't able to attend. We had our own event last night, but yeah, that was an incredible event. So you are the president for the Miami-Dade College Kendall campus, and he's also just a trendsetter in our community, and everybody loves Dr. Cruz. But I want to know, like, what is a day in the life of a president of a college campus look like? Because I think a lot of people see you out in the community and they see you doing a lot of fun things, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes as well. So I know 2 days are the same, right? But walk me through sort of what that would look like.
I think one of the things is that, unfortunately, as an administrator that I am, there are a lot of meetings. So meetings consume most of my day. But again, those meetings all have a purpose, and they're all about how do we improve the student experience? How do we improve student success? So most of those things, whether it's meetings with faculty members, other administrators, sometimes I get to meet with students as well, with our SGA cabinet and others. It gives me a chance to hear what people are looking for, how we can improve that experience, and then a lot of those meetings are about planning initiatives, and then how can we collaborate across the college, across the campus and across the entire college, because we have 8 campuses, right? So we want to make sure that we're providing the best opportunities for our students. So a lot of it has to do with, a lot of it's meetings. To be honest with you, a lot of it's meetings. But a lot of those meetings are not just for the sake of having meetings. A lot of them have to do with, let's say we're planning a new initiative. We want to make sure that we're doing it right. As you know, we have a lot of initiatives going on at the campus right now. And a lot of that comes from those things. And then, taking time to think through, personal time during the day, still professional time, but personal time to think through how do we create new initiatives? What can we do to do new things? But a lot of it, I try to be as outwardly facing as possible because I think it's important for the individuals in our community to know the great things that are happening at Miami-Dade College, at the Kendall campus. So a lot of that engagement happens outside, but also that engagement happens inside with events and different things that are happening. So events are a big deal internally, even for our students, but also a lot of meetings and things that go on with different players across the campus and across the college.
There's so much that I can just take away from that, and there's so much that I want to talk about. But one thing that I do want to say is that for everyone, because I actually, my team at Chamber South are both Miami-Dade College. Well, one's a Miami-Dade College alumni, and one's currently going to Miami-Dade College. And they're just like, Dr. Cruz is the coolest campus president ever. And I think a lot of the students at the campus feel that way, that you're so accessible and relatable, and you're there and you're connecting with the students. And I'll be honest, I didn't go to Miami-Dade College. I went to UCF, but I don't think I ever saw our president, like ever. Much different university, much different campus. But I think it's really important for students to be able to have that connection. I mean, my employee will come back and be like, oh, I saw Dr. Cruz today and I said hi to him. And I think that's great. It just shows the true commitment to the students, the connection that you have there. So that's incredible. So let's talk about some of these projects and initiatives, because I know that there's a ton of them that are coming out of all of these lovely meetings.
So we have to have something come out of these meetings, right?
No, of course, and that's important.
These are good things that are happening. Yeah. So a few things, and I know that you're familiar with some of them
because
you're very active in a lot of these things, so I really appreciate your support in these things. One is our micro internships initiative, which we're trying to provide our students, first-year students, with an experience in the real world, right, in the working world, so they can, in that first year, particularly right now, we're focusing on some students that are taking an intro to business class and seeing how they can really get some real-world experience with employers in our area. We're looking at some micro internships, so it's 25 hours in the workplace. Total.
It's a 4-week program.
Semester, 4-week program. I know it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it's just a taste. It's a taste for those students, and also it's a taste for the employers to understand, hey, what kind of person is this?
It's a very long job interview almost too. Like a really hands-on, gives you an opportunity to really see how this person works, sort of their initiative, their ethic, I think it's an incredible opportunity. If you can sign up to be a micro internship partner, please do.
It's something that we want to encourage everybody out there.
It's one of your honors courses, right? Or principles of business courses.
It's principles of business.
Yes,
it's not an honors course, but it's a principles of business course that really most freshmen will take that are interested in business. But sometimes students don't know why they picked business, or why they just picked it because maybe their friend,
general
somebody
degree,
told them.
Yes.
So we want them to get some type of experience, and the ultimate goal really is, at least from my standpoint, for the college and for the campus, is for those students to get that experience, so they get that taste, so they can say, hey, I want to continue. Yeah. Because I think we want to make sure we increase our retention rates, our persistence rates, and I think that will help. And then the byproduct is that our students will get that experience, and the employers will have somebody that can help on a specific project, because that's what we want to do.
A project-based
internship, not something where they're just
doing admin work, or filing, or answering the phones.
Something.
No, it's
and maybe answering the phone could be part of it, but it could be, that means that there's something. What's the project behind that, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it could be something that is focused on that.
Yeah.
So that's a really great initiative, and that's something we're going to kick off in February. Now with the new semester, we already have 30 employers that have lined up. Yes.
Wow. Are we included on that? Chamber South was supposed to?
I believe so.
I hope so.
I have to look to see the list, but
we are definitely going to get a micro. We're going to be part of the micro internship program, and we're going to have an intern. We're not going to get a micro intern. I don't know why I almost said that. That's not accurate. It's a very small intern. But sorry, before we get off the micro internship topic, I just want to say too, it really helps address the issue that I think a lot of students or graduates face, where they're trying to get these entry-level positions that are asking for experience. And it's like, I have the education, but I don't have, how am I supposed to have I just graduated, how am I supposed to have the experience? So you're filling a gap that is a very difficult one to fill, because that is always kind of like the catch-22. It's like, I want you to have your degree, and I want you to have experience, and I want you to do all of these things. And these graduates or these students, or in their early 20s. I'm like, I just haven't had the time to amass everything that you're asking me for. So
and they don't realize it.
Love
Sometimes.
that.
They don't realize it sometimes. And I think, and if we can front load this is something that a lot of times happens later in somebody's academic career, right? They do these internships. If we can do this earlier, it also lends itself to the career development of that student. Right?
Absolutely.
That career development path is a long one. We're all on career development paths, right? But we're starting that earlier in the process. I think it helps the student and it helps the employers. It's a win-win altogether.
So you said you have 30 employers already signed up, and you are happily accepting applications
We are still
for
accepting
more. So
Yes.
please sign up to
Yes.
be a partner. This is an
Definitely.
incredible opportunity for you to have these interns to be able to support Miami-Dade College, and then to also be able to fill in. Workforce challenges are real right now, and so this is a great opportunity, and we've got plenty of time to build it out because it starts in February, so it's incredible.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do it with enough time, and we do have enough time to do that.
There's so many other projects. We just talked about one, but give me some of the
Okay,
other
one other
ones.
thing I would just want to mention, which is in line with our, with these micro internships and just the career development piece, is our career closet. So
was hoping
about a
to
year ago, we opened a career closet at the Hialeah campus. And when I came to the Kendall campus, I said, you know what, we need to do the same. So we're going to have our opening on November 7th. And I'll tell you a little bit what that means, the career closet. So the career closet is really a place where students can come who are seeking, that need clothing, professional clothing, attire for an interview, whether it be for an internship or for a job. And then they can come in, they can look at the clothing we have, pick something that they really like, and then they can have that clothing and it's free. So they can keep that clothing. It's for them to keep, them to use for those interviews. And what it does is it reduces or eliminates barriers when it comes to how do I dress, right, for an interview. And if a student says, I don't have the resources to dress for success for an interview, this gives them the opportunity to do that. So right now we are in a process of still gathering donations, to fill that closet.
So that was going to be my next question. Are these items new? Or are they gently used?
It's a combination.
Okay.
It's a combination. We are buying, with the donations that we're receiving, the cash donations that we're receiving, we're buying new items. We are also accepting gently used items that can also, we'll look through them and make sure they're appropriate for professional. Because sometimes we get things that are
I
like,
need to go through my closet and we'll find some things in there, I'm sure.
Yeah. And so we're both things, but I just want to make sure that we fill that closet. It's a beautiful closet that we've built. We want students to feel good about going into that closet and not feeling like, oh boy, like you go into some place and has just a bunch of racks or something.
Right.
This is a beautifully made, constructed,
Boutique-esque sort of feel.
Right.
Yes.
And so that way when students go in, they feel good about going in there. They don't feel shame. They don't feel that something's wrong. I mean, they feel like good about going in there and picking something out that they really like.
And that's so important. I mean, image and just feeling good about yourself and being able to look the way, like the dress the part, dress for success. That's so incredibly important. How many students do you anticipate this is going to be able to serve, or how many pieces are you stocking, or kind of like what's that? And then how can we get involved? How can the community get involved, and how can they help? Please let us know.
Yeah. So I think that the number of students is probably going to be hundreds of students. I mean, we serve about 30,000 students on the Kendall campus on a yearly basis. But I would say that I don't think all students will be going to, I hope not, will be going into the career closet. But I would say hundreds of students per year. And again, we're not qualifying students in any way to access these resources, for the closet. They can, if they feel like they need it, they can go and get it.
And will it be open year round?
It'll be open year round, and we'll have somebody monitoring. It's going to be in our student life building, and
it will be funded by donations, either monetary or clothing donations from the community.
Right.
Okay, wonderful. That's incredible. I think that's definitely something that this community can get behind. And please, if you have gently used items, or if you want to make a donation, please reach out to Dr. Cruz, because I think that's an incredible resource.
Yes, and I think that's it's something already we've seen the effects of it, or the impact that's had at the Hialeah campus. We feel that's going to have the same impact at the Kendall campus. Our closet's a little bit bigger at Kendall, but we're a little bit bigger campus, so it's a little bit bigger. But I think that so right now we're in the process of trying to fill it. But again, any kind of donations that individuals.
And is it only clothing? Sorry, now I'm getting like into the weeds of this. I'm like, we're getting them like shoes and accessories.
Everything that has to do with the attire that you would need to be professional at an interview. So it could be shoes, definitely. It could be accessories, yes. So
briefcases, work bags, that sort of a thing. I love it. That's amazing.
Any kind of thing that would make it make you look good.
Ready for an interview.
Ready for an interview.
Yeah. Interview ready.
That's right.
That's awesome.
That's what we want to do.
Okay, wonderful. Are there any other special projects or maybe events that are coming up?
Well, there's a really big event that's coming up this next Friday, the 28th, and that's our Spooky Night. And we've had this event at the Kendall campus for many years, but based on the pandemic, and we basically weren't able to do what we were doing in previous years. So Spooky Night is back.
How scary is Spooky Night?
Oh, it's not scary at all.
Oh, thank God.
No. This is not like, this is really meant for children and their families.
Oh, thank God.
And so there's no, it's not scariness, but there are a lot of different activities that we'll have for kids. They're really fun activities. We'll have a costume contest, which I'll be one of the judges.
Oh, fun.
So it'll be really fun. To have our but it's really about engaging the community and bringing individuals. And again, it's not individuals just that are connected some way to the college. It's anyone in the community that would like to come out. So that's going to start at 5 p.m. at our Kendall campus. It'll be near the gymnasium.
Okay.
Near. It's not just
not in the gym.
Near the gym. It's outside the gymnasium. There's a road that leads up to the gymnasium. I'm just giving it that. We'll have signage.
Friday.
We'll have good signage.
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
They're going to be bobbing for apples or like pumpkin carving. I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, there'll be some of that. Not bobbing for apples.
Okay.
But there'll be some other things and nice events. We'll have a dunk tank there.
Are you getting?
I am not going to be done. No. I know you.
I don't have a good arm. Sarah plays softball though, so we'll get Sarah on that.
Sarah. Yeah. Well, Sarah, you could participate.
Sarah is our marketing and events coordinator or manager at Chamber South, and she's behind the camera. She's proudly wearing her MDC alumni shirt.
Yeah.
She's behind the camera, so you guys can't see her, but she is here.
Yeah.
Sharks. So we're talking about all of these amazing projects. We're talking about all of these amazing initiatives. So I'm going to take a point of personal privilege because I can. When you think about community involvement and you think about just going sort of above and beyond what the job duties are and really kind of leaning in and engaging with the community and being active and being involved, I think that you are a true example of that. I know that everyone that meets you admires you and loves you and respects you and looks up to you. And we feel the same way here at Chamber South. So we just announced it just a few days ago, but I'm taking this moment right now. Dr. Cruz is the recipient of our L. Russell Norton Community Service Award. They're very long names.
Yeah.
I don't have any notes. L. Russell Norton Community Service Award for 2022. He joins the amazing ranks of other community trailblazers in South Dade. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
He's going to get awarded that award next week, Saturday, the day after Spooky Nights. Next week, Saturday, at our annual chairman's reception. So we're really excited to honor Dr. Cruz. But I think that is just a testament to the impact that you've made. You were you've only been the president of Miami-Dade Kendall campus officially for like less than a year, I think.
I've been at Kendall for 8 months.
Yeah.
And then but officially just Kendall for the last couple months.
Yeah. And so I know you worked as the campus president at the Hialeah campus and,
Correct.
Chamber South service area. We're kind of like the greater South Dade area. So
Yeah.
that's really where we focus on. So in less than a year, you've made such an impact on this community with our members. Our board recognizes that. Our Gavel Club recognizes that. And so this is an incredible, I'm just so thrilled for you.
I'm really thrilled and really honored. I mean, when you called me last week and told me about it, I was like, whoa, wow, that's great. That's really great. I was like, what's the call about?
Everybody gets a little nervous to take my calls. They just never know what it's going to be. You're going to get either told to do something or asked for something. Yeah. And so that was a fun call to make. Yeah. I called up Dr. Cruz and I'm like, I have great news. So that's incredible.
Quite an honor. And I really enjoy working with you. I enjoy working with the other members. I mean, it's what builds the community, right? I mean, because people think about chambers and chambers, think about business. And obviously that's the focal point. But I think it also is about building community.
The community is a huge part.
And if we don't do that, then we're not doing the job that we need to do. And we're all in part of that.
Absolutely.
So it's my pleasure to be part of the chamber and to be active and always enjoy interacting with everybody. And it's a great thing that we're doing together, right? It's a joint effort.
It's just a lot of fun. I mean, we do have a lot of fun at the end of the day. We work really hard, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of behind the scenes meetings and admin stuff that goes on that you guys will never see because it's not the fun, glamorous stuff. But it is, at the end of the day, all of it collectively is a lot of fun. And when you have a passion for the community and you have a passion for serving, it doesn't really feel like work.
Right.
I have 2 more questions, then we're going to wrap it up. Then we're done. But I'm going so off topic now because so you're known sort of like in our community as the trendsetter. And that's kind of like the name that has been assigned to you, kind of like adopted. And so I want to know kind of what has been your favorite trend that you've sort of implemented or thing that you've done. When you think about it, I know we did the Keeping Up with Kendall, which I think is amazing, and it's got such brand recognition behind it. And you go everywhere, and we see the Keeping Up with Kendall shirts, and we have the show and the whole nine. But what has been the
I think that probably has been it. I think. I mean, in Hialeah, there was a lot of things going on there as well because the career closet's something that I started there. So that was something that you could say is a trend, right?
Yes,
because it started there. Now
now
it's in Kendall. So that was a big one. But I think that the amount of just the events and the engagement, I think is part of that, right? I think that we all have personal lives and things that we have to do, but I think that it's also part of me. I think it's intertwined, right? My personal and professional life are intertwined, and I think that lends itself then to be able to set those trends, and a lot of it also has to do with social media presence.
Absolutely.
And I think that what the pandemic showed me, and we went into isolation and we didn't have students on campus, is how do we reach out to everyone? How do we do a better job of that? And before, I've been on LinkedIn for years. I've been actually on LinkedIn for 11 years, but never probably had the presence that I have today because I didn't see it as critical as it became the last few years. And I think that's nothing. It's now that we're in a much better place, that doesn't go away. I think it just intensifies more. And so I had to find ways to communicate with our students, our faculty, and our staff. And created during the time that we were, and a lot of people were working virtually, I created something called Hialeah Connect, which I would do once a week, where I meet with all faculty and staff virtually. Anybody that wanted to come from the campus on virtually, and we would talk about whatever topic they wanted to talk about. Because a lot of people had a lot of anxiety, a lot of issues going on, and so that is part of it. But I think that it taught me to just be much more out there, and you have to make yourself, I think, vulnerable, at the same time. So it's like a lot of it is showing things, and not, talking about things that may not feel that comfortable, but I think people need to hear it. People need to know that you're human, that you're here to help them. And so I think part of that trend stuff happened because of all those things that happened during that time. But I think that now it's like, I can't stop.
You can't. There's so much expectation.
Can't stop this. I mean, we got to keep going. And again, it's not about me. It's about it's really about the college, our students, and making sure that more people in the community know what we're doing and raising increasing exposure and raising awareness.
And a big part of that is you, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again, is the accessibility that you provide. Anyone can get a hold of you, can reach you, can talk to you, and you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position, right? Because it could be positive things, it could be negative things,
It could be a whole lot of things, yeah.
But just making sure that accessibility exists and that people have access to you, whether it's your faculty, whether it's your students, or whether it's the community at large. I think that has been such an important part of sort of elevating Miami-Dade College Kendall campus and really kind of buying into that community. It's really you being out there yourself, the face of it, because we see the college, and you can see representatives from the college, or they have a table, or they're doing something at an event, whatever the case may be. But when you have the president of the campus there with you, sitting there with you, connecting with you, talking to you, and engaging with you, it's a completely different level.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's really a pleasure to do that, and I have to say that I have both when I worked at Hialeah and now at Kendall, an amazing team. So without that amazing team, I wouldn't be able to do the things I do in the community and the engagement that I have, because I have, regardless of what area, I have my cabinet, cabinet members are just, and both campuses have been extraordinary people that work very hard and keep the ship going. Even, when I'm out doing something, they're there doing the things that they need to do. And so I really appreciate them for what they bring to the table and allow me to be more outwardly facing in the community.
That's amazing. I always say that you are only as good as the people that you surround yourself with, and so it's really important to have that team. So that's my advice. But what's the best piece of advice that you have for our audience today? What's the best advice you've ever received, and what do you want to give them?
Right. So the best piece of advice, I think it always sticks with me, is a former supervisor of mine one time. It was just early on in my career. I was very young. And
Was it in your higher education career?
higher education.
Okay, good. I was like, was that financial?
No,
like 3-year financial career?
Yeah, not the financial piece, but very early on in my higher education career, and I had an issue, some kind of issue or whatever that it was trying to resolve, and I brought it to this individual, and they were like, "Well, what's the solution?" And I'm like, "What do you mean there's a solution?" I said, I was like coming to them for a solution,
Right?
And the person basically said to me, "Don't bring me problems, bring me solutions."
Always.
And so, yes, there's a problem that you need to address, but you should, if you're going to somebody for advice, you should already think about some possible solutions to that problem. It doesn't mean you can't share the problem, but you have to have some possible solutions. So I think that was a great piece of advice because, again, I was probably at that point maybe 25 years old and a little naive about how things worked, and I felt like, "Oh, you're my supervisor. Hey, tell me how to figure this out." Well, it's not that they weren't willing to do that, but I think it was great advice about don't bring me problems, bring me solutions.
Yeah, and I think that separates sort of the followers from the leaders, and that's where that critical thinking comes into play. And taking that initiative to be like, okay, well, these are the issues that we have, but these are the ways that we can solve it. That really does differentiate like a leader from someone who's
or even just
follower.
a manager.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because you could be a good manager, but that doesn't make you a great leader necessarily.
Exactly.
So that's a good differentiating factor. So let's see. So what
advice would you give to our audience as we close it out, as we wrap up today?
I think it's about my advice would be dream big. I think that a lot of times we restrict or our own dreams or the things that we aspire to do because of our situation, or whatever the situation may be, family situation, economic situation, social, whatever the case may be. We all have limitations, right? But I think that if we don't dream big, then we're really limiting ourselves. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity out there, a lot of things that we could do. And sometimes those dreams don't come about overnight. They happen over a very long period of time. Maybe it takes you a long time. Perseverance is very important in that mix, right?
Yep.
If you dream big, you have to persevere. Mm-hmm. And I believe that, not that everything is possible. I don't think that's everything, but a lot more is possible than we sometimes think that we can do. So dreaming big is really important. And I think that the college gives individuals out there a great opportunity from an educational standpoint to reach those dreams. Even people are starting from points that probably thought, I would never go to college. College is not for me. Whatever the case may be, they got to think about us as an opportunity to get to that dream. Just one piece of it, right? The educational piece. But there's so much more out there, but dreaming big is really important.
I love that. I absolutely love that. I mean, and sometimes, I can just tell you from personal experience, sometimes it's really scary to dream big. But regardless of that, I think you definitely need to go for it. And it's never too late. It's never too late.
I see that all the time. I hear from people, I'm 40 years old. The person says, I'm 40 years old. I'm not going to be able to do this. Some of the greatest inventors, some of the greatest entrepreneurs, some of the greatest people who have succeeded in many facets in our society started out later in life.
Yeah.
They found their calling, they found their passion, and they followed those dreams, and they did it. So it's never too late.
Yeah, there's like a whole list of people that got their starts so much later in life. I think Oprah Winfrey didn't get her break until she was like in her late 40s, if not later. And life doesn't stop at 30. So dream big. It's never too late.
I hope it doesn't.
I know, my God, we're both done for. But no, I think a lot of people think, I've missed the boat on this. You haven't. You haven't missed those opportunities. Yeah. There are organizations, there are resources available to you through Miami-Dade College. If there's something that you want to pursue, if there's a dream that you have, if there's something that you've always wanted to do and you didn't know where to do it or how to start, reach out to Miami-Dade Kendall campus. Reach out to Dr. Cruz. He's extremely accessible, and don't ever be afraid to dream big.
And if anybody out there is interested in starting either a certificate program or a college credit program or a non-credit program, you can reach out to the Kendall campus, 305-237-2800. That's our general number. That'll get you to somebody that can talk to you about the opportunities that we have available to you at the college.
That's awesome.
And at the campus.
That's awesome. Yay. And yes, Miami-Dade College has multiple campuses. So
8 campuses. So we have a big family. We all get along. We're all good. We all have, some campuses have certain programs that they focus on more than others. But nonetheless, all of them, all 8, providing great opportunities across the county.
Yes, that's incredible. So Miami-Dade College, just an incredible community partner here with us, and just such a pleasure. I could talk to you for so much longer because this is just such a great conversation. But we've got to wrap it up today. This has been our Live with Brittnie show. If you are interested in learning more about how to be featured, please reach out to us at Chamber South. You can call us 305-661-1621, or you can email us at info@chambersouth.com. These shows are filmed at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. if necessary every Friday morning. And so be sure to